Well, you have no doubt heard of our next guest. She is a world-renowned best-selling author, and she's a resident of North Texas. She has written countless novels that have captivated audience just for years. Please welcome Miss Sandra Brown, author of the new novel, Mean Streak. And Sandra, I am reading this novel right now. I'm already sucked in.
Good to hear it.
I'm already sucked in. I already
Good to hear it.
love your heroine. I'm drawn to this mysterious man, and so I'm hoping that this is exactly how you were expecting me to react.
It is exactly. I couldn't have scripted it better because I was drawn in that same way, Lisa. It was just amazing because I was working on another book, an entirely different story, and all of a sudden this scene just came to my mind where this woman is running on this trail in the mountains and something happens to her and she wakes up in this cabin with this mysterious stranger. And I was like, ooh, what's going on here?
Right.
And I thought, well, if I can't wait to find out, the reader won't be able to wait to find out. So I knew I was onto something, and I immediately put the other book aside and started working on Mean Streak.
And is that kind of how it works for you creatively? Do you sort of see the story as it unfolds in your mind? Do you see it kind of as a movie in your head?
I do. I really do. I write from a very visual point of view. It's as though I'm watching a stage enactment, and I see the characters walk on and say their lines and do their thing, and I write down what I hear them say and what I see them do. So I can describe things so vividly because I actually am seeing them in my mind.
And one thing about your writing that you do so very well is you're able to blend this mystery with this romance, with this kind of hot sensuality.
Well, thank you.
It's like, no, it's such a gift to be able to tell both types of stories.
Well, I've worked for many years trying to meld those two genres, and I'm happy with the genre romantic suspense that many and my colleagues and I helped create, because we took what we learned in romance writing and brought it into the thriller market or the suspense mystery market, and we kind of merged the two, which was really, to me, almost a no-brainer, because the building romance makes the peril even that much more perilous, and the danger helps intensify the level of the sexual tension. Right. So to me, it was a perfect blend of the two genres.
And I think what you've done too is you've because of this genre, you've made it so that specifically women who were used to reading romance novels now are very interested and might pick up, say, like a Dan Brown novel or something that's not traditionally, you know, you would expect any of that romantic tension.
Heretofore, up until the last few years, most attributed all thrillers, whether they be espionage, military, all of those subgenres, to men writers and male readers. And now the two have really merged. I have many, you know, male readers, thank goodness, and likewise, women are reading, you know, more of the books that they might not have before, simply because they thought it was a man's book. So we really have crossed that gender barrier.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad, because a good story is a good story.
Exactly.
No matter who writes it, a good story is always a good story.
You know, and I want to ask you, Sandra, yesterday we were talking on our show about men and women and what women expect out of relationships. And I kind of gave the theory that there's sort of a formula, and you can find it in a lot of books too, where, you know, it's this the man who you introduce in the books is always kind of like dark and brooding, and the heroine of the book is the only one that has the key to kind of unlock his you know, full potential.
Taming the beast.
Right, exactly. Do you find that to be
of the beast?
Exactly. Is that a common theme?
I think it is, and I think it's been a common theme in all of storytelling. You know, female fantasy, male fantasy, and they've more or less merged over the centuries. The lines and the roles are not quite as defined as they used to be. But when you're reading classic myths, and if you're writing a present-day myth, we still fall back on a little bit more of the traditional. Now, a lot of people, go their own way, cross their own line. I'm not making any social statement here at all. I just know what I like to read and what I like to write. And I think every writer and every reader has to find their comfort level. But I tend to have the hero a little bit mysterious, or at least one of the characters. And I think, the fantasy for a lot of women is taming the beast.
Unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong with us, but well, Sandra, it is a fantastic story. It will no doubt be another bestseller for you. And now that we know that now that we know that you live in North Texas, we're going to get you in here to co-host with us one day.
Oh, I would love that. I'd love to do that.
That would be fun.
I look forward to it.
We look forward to that too. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you, Lisa.
You can pick up a copy of Mean Streak on bookshelves nationwide now. It's a good one. I'm reading it right now. School lunch doesn't have to be so blah. We'll be back with some fun ideas that parents and kiddos will both love.